guys, welcome back to Mamahood. On this channel, I share bits and pieces of motherhood and how I steward my home. And today we are going through all of the things that I consider to be newborn basics, newborn essentials. I've now been through the newborn stage twice, and I can't believe that my second is not a newborn anymore. Now, these are some of the things that I've used most frequently. There are some things that I have used with both of my newborns that are not on this list, and things that I could have used and didn't that are also not on this list. What you need for your baby is fully dependent upon you and your lifestyle and your baby. This is just what I have found to be useful with both of my kiddos, and it's been pretty similar between the both of them. With both of my babies, I've really enjoyed baby wearing. With Lucy, my oldest, I really only used like one of the more sturdy clip-on. It's like a clip-on, very much more bulky, something that I would choose more so for hiking. So I use this one a lot with my first, and I am using this one a lot with my second, but this time around I have found some other methods of baby wearing that I actually really enjoy a lot better. One of the other things that I am using for baby wearing is a ring sling. I liked this one. I found it at a thrift store because it has padding. And a lot of ring slings don't, and I have fibromyalgia, so wearing anything heavy on my shoulders, on my back, gets pretty uncomfortable after a pretty short amount of time. So I have a ring sling, and I really like how it works. They can be kind of tricky to figure out at first, but once you figure it out, they're so easy. This one, since it's used, I feel like it's kind of stretched out at the top of it, so I used a rubber band and made like a little knot on it to take up some of the slack, just to make it a little bit more supportive for a newborn. Now, my second newborn came out holding her head up, so she didn't need like a ton of support, but I did want there to be some, because that's a lot for her little neck and her little head to handle. I do also have a Moby wrap. It's one of those really, really long ones. It feels like it's like 20 feet long, and you like wrap it all over your body, and I did use that a lot the first 2 weeks. It just felt a lot more secure, but they're hot and they feel just really thick and heavy, and it was hard for me to tie it right on the first time, and so it's taking a lot longer for me to actually get to the baby wearing because I was taking so much time tying this massive piece of fabric around my body. I like to have a comfy place to set the baby, especially having 2 under 2. I can't wear or carry the baby all day long, so I like to have comfy places to put her. I had this one with my oldest. This is a Snuggle Me Organic, and it's actually inside of the cover. They make covers for these. I don't have one. I just have a really soft pillowcase on it that I tied in a knot, and I honestly like it a lot better. I use this one a lot more with my first. I haven't used it a lot with my second. I've used the Boppy a lot more with my second, so I do have both. I don't like to nurse with any sort of support, so that's not really what I use the Boppy for, but it stays in the living room, and I set it down like if she doesn't want to fully lay on her back, I'll prop her up in that a little bit with some blankets and stuff to make sure it's a little bit more supportive for her. Now the Boppy tag says not to do that until they're older, but you're the mama and you know your baby best, and I know that my baby likes to sit up just a little bit, and she was not getting up enough with this, so I definitely use the Boppy a lot more with her. I don't consider a crib and a crib mattress and crib sheets to be baby or newborn basics. Neither of my babies have slept in their cribs. If you don't want to co-sleep, you'll want a bassinet. We do co-sleep, and I'm not suggesting it, but it is what has worked for our family. But if that's not something that you want to do, you'll want to have a bassinet. Lucy didn't even sleep in her crib until she was closer to like 5, 6, 7 months old. I don't even remember. So you really just need a bassinet if you don't want to co-sleep. You'll also want to have some swaddle blankets. I don't personally swaddle my babies much. But I do like to have swaddle blankets on hand to put on the floor, or like I like the muslin ones. They're super lightweight, and I use those to tie and like use as a nursing cover if it's too hot outside. And I just keep one of those with me when they're little because they spit up, and I don't want to have like a nursing cover and a burp rag and like all these different things. I use muslin swaddle blankets for nursing, for spit up, for diaper changes, and I just wash them often. Along those same lines, I do have a like a nursing cover, but it also goes over the, what's it called, like car seat covers that goes over the top. If it's cold outside, it'll kind of help keep them warm. I do have one of those, and I do like to nurse under it if it's colder outside, but this baby was born in the summertime and it's hot, and Lucy was born in the winter, it was cold, so I liked to cover a little bit more with something thicker whenever I had Lucy, but not so much with this baby. So I have both. I don't think I've covered Millie's car seat at all, but depending on when your baby is born, you may want to have one of those. You'll also obviously want to have a car seat. You do want to have a few outfits, but you don't know what size your baby is going to be when your baby is born. My oldest was born and she didn't even fit in newborn clothes. We had to go get preemie clothes for her. Not something we expected. And then Millie was born and she didn't fit in newborn clothes for longer than like a week. And then she was in 0 to 3, and then she was very quickly in 3 to 6. Now she's fitting in some 6 to 9 months, and she's not even 3 months old yet. So you just don't know how big your baby's going to be. So I would suggest having just a couple of everything. A couple sleepers, the zip up sleepers, because you don't want to be buttoning buttons in the middle of the night and in the dark and when you're tired. Just zippers are so much easier with footies on them. It keeps them nice and cozy. During the day, I like to have them in just regular onesies, or like I have a couple cute outfits for church. But really, that's all you need. You just need a few basics. You're going to be washing clothes a lot more. Throw them in the washer. You don't need that many. Because I do like to put my babies down, sometimes they don't always want to be put down somewhere still. They don't always want to be in the Boppy. They don't always want to be in the lounger. I do have a floor gym that they like to play with, and sometimes they don't want to be in that either. They don't want to be flat on their back. So I do have a baby bouncer, and it comes in very handy. It's extremely simple. It's literally just like a seat, and you push a button and it goes like this. Like, that's it. It just has like probably a weight in it that goes up and down and makes it bounce, and it's great. Very simple. I don't have one of those fancy Mamahood things that like dances with them. I've heard they're very neat. I just haven't found it to be 100% necessary. So either a bouncer or a swing. I don't have a baby swing, so I can't really speak into that. I would say one or the other would be perfectly fine for a newborn. I don't know that you really need both. I personally don't bathe my babies that much, but when I do, I like to actually have something to set them in. I've never been a fan of bathing my babies in the sink and just kind of like holding on to them. To me, it just feels so slippery and dangerous, so I like to have something to put them in. And the one that I use is this one, and I just put it in the bathtub, fill up the bathtub, and set my babies in there. I would say something like this, and if you don't have a bathtub, they do have baby baths that are like a tub with like, I think like a hammock or something, and you put your baby in it, fill it with water, and it's great. You'll want to have a diaper bag, and it doesn't have to be a diaper bag. Like, it doesn't have to come from the baby section. I do have one that came from the baby section, and it's great, but honestly, the more that I use it, the more like a regular backpack would do perfectly fine. And now having 2 babies, sometimes I run out of room in the diaper bag, so I'm thinking about upgrading to just a big old backpack. You really don't have to have like an actual diaper bag. But one thing I would say is I would suggest having a backpack diaper bag that's not like hot pink and polka dots, you know, so your husband will want to carry it for you. I have this one, and it does have like a little place to put wipes and things, but as you can see, I don't use it. I just throw the wipes in there, so a regular backpack would do just fine, but something a little bit more neutral so that I can carry it, my husband can carry it. It goes with any outfit, any occasion. I've used this one for both babies, and it does fit everything as long as I don't go crazy putting stuff in there. I have a few different types of monitors for the nursery, I have the summer monitor, and it has like this camera that I stick up on the wall, and then a monitor screen so that I can see, and it also has audio so I can hear to see how Lucy's doing in her crib. But I really only am using this for Lucy right now. For Millie, since we do co-sleep, I use this for both babies, and it's an owlet sock, and this gives me a lot of peace whenever I am sleeping with my babies or when they're sleeping in the room by themselves and I'm about the house. I can know how they're doing. This is a sock that just goes right on their foot. It has a little monitor and it connects to your phone, and it will alert you if their oxygen levels drop or their heart rate is wonky. It'll send you an alert so you can come check on your baby. But this just gives us a lot of peace. With co-sleeping, it'll let us know if anything is wrong. Maybe we're sleeping too deep and haven't noticed anything. It's never gone off on us, but it's just nice to know. Just that extra reassurance that this will catch anything that we're not awake to catch. While your milk supply is regulating, I would suggest having reusable or disposable boob pads. You can get like the Bamboobies on Amazon. You just stick them in your bra and they catch any extra like milk drippage that there may be, because as your milk supply regulates, you'll probably leak quite a bit. On that same note, whenever you're nursing on one side, you'll have letdown on the other side, and that's good milk. So I like to have a Haakaa that you just squeeze and put on your boob, and it just catches all the extra milk. And then you'll want to have milk bags to put the extra milk in, and it's just kind of a fuss-free way to catch extra milk to put in the freezer, so you don't have to take the extra time to pump, because you're already sitting down to feed anyways. Suction this on the other side and get yourself some extra milk to put in the freezer. I have had two different types of pumps. Last time with Lucy, I had a Philips Avent pump that you sit and it connects to the wall, and then it's got tubes that connect to you, and you're just like stuck there with these two massive bottles hanging off the ends of these pumps. And it was fine, but I wasn't motivated to use it at all. Having two under two, I figured that might be kind of impossible to sit down and pump. So I did get a hands-free pump, and I know that there are some really nice ones out there, like the Willow or the LV pump, that you just stick in your bra and go, and they're pretty discreet. I got the Momcozy pump off of Amazon, and I do really like it. It's not 100% fuss-free, but it is 100% hands-free whenever you do put it in. For this set, it was under $200 on Amazon, and it has served me super duper well. Something else that you're going to want to have: babies can get stuffy, and as your kids grow, they can get stuffy. Lucy's been stuffy lately, and this is something that has come in handy many times, and I know it grosses a lot of people out, but it is the Frida baby nose sucker. I forget the actual name of it, but it's by Frida. Oh, it's literally called the Nose Frida. And this end, the red end, goes in your mouth, and this end goes in the baby's nose, and you suck the boogers out of their nose. It is so effective, and it's impossible to get boogers in your mouth because it has a filter that you can replace. It has like a little squishy filter thing that you can replace here and there. So I've used this many times. I've never gotten snot or boogers in my mouth. So I'm fine using it. I know some people think it's absolutely disgusting, but it is one of the best things that I've been able to pull out when my kids are sick to help them breathe. And sometimes whenever they're stuffy and it starts to dry up, they get little boogies in their nose and you can't get it out, and it can drive you nuts. It can drive them nuts. It can block them from breathing well whenever you're nursing. And so I have a booger picker, and I got this one at the grocery store. It's just like two little bears on either end to keep it from going in too far, and you just reach in there and just get those little boogies out. I know Frida Mom makes, or Frida Baby makes, a booger picker that has like different, I guess, attachments. Not attachments, but like has different things that flip out on either end to, like, I don't know, pick different types of boogers. I'm not sure. But booger picker, Didn't think I would need one. Definitely use it all of the time. One thing I don't have here with me, I don't think, you'll want to have nail clippers, and they have the fancy file ones that turn on and they like just kind of file them down. But the Frida baby clippers are the safest clippers that I've used on my kids. I have the safety first ones. I don't like them as much, but the Frida baby ones, I've not like nicked my baby's fingers one time using it. So I really like that brand. Really, anything Frida Mom, Frida Baby is all great. Anything Frida Mom for postpartum is fantastic. Frida Baby stuff is amazing. You may want to have some bottles or pacifiers on hand of different, like a variety pack of different shapes and sizes, depending on what your baby wants to have. You can do that. I just bought one passy for Millie, and she used that for a while till she didn't want it anymore. I bought a new one. She used that for a while. She's still using it, instead of buying the whole like variety pack. But so I'm just keeping up with one pacifier right now. I don't have multiples around the house. It's just one, and it works well for us, but I was glad that I at least had one pacifier on hand. You will want to have some diapers and wipes. I would say have more wipes than diapers, which I know is probably an unpopular opinion. I did not go ham buying diapers for either of my children before they were born, and I'm glad that I didn't, because there's no way to know how big they're gonna be. And like Millie came out and she didn't even fit in newborn diapers. So unless you want to keep up with all the receipts, I would say just don't even buy them. I mean, there's delivery services now. If you want to pre-buy like size 2, 3, 4, I'd say that's great. But my kid came out needing size 1 diapers, and then I had newborn diapers that are still sitting there, and I did not use them. Thankfully, it's not a lot, but definitely was a lesson learned that you really don't know how long your child is going to fit in a certain size of diapers. So some people go ham and buy like a crop ton of diapers, and I personally would not suggest doing that. But if you do plan to like cloth diaper or something, get your stash beforehand, get them pre-washed, pre-folded, and ready to go. So yeah, that's if you're cloth diapering. But if you're not, then I wouldn't buy too many, because you don't know what size your baby's going to need. But that's really, in my opinion, the absolute like bare basics for a newborn. And you probably could do without some of these items, and then there's probably other items that you're like, I really think I'm gonna need that, and that's fine. That's different for every single mom. Every baby is different, but this is what I've used for both of my babies. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.